Fatality.
Hi there everyone, I'm the guy with no gamertag, and today I wanted to talk about Jedi Fallen Order, and review I will! Now, this is an adventure game set in the Star Wars universe just after the purge of Order 66. Apart from that, that is the only story detail I'm going over. The rest of the video is entirely spoiler free, so you don't have to worry about that. So this is an action adventure game. It involves a lot of puzzle solving, some interesting combat, and some really difficult boss fights. For me, it was a very enjoyable game to play through. The combat is both punishing but satisfying to learn. It's a little bit difficult at the beginning. You're having to work out how to parry properly, how to block, how to then attack, and the wildlife in the game gives you a very good opportunity to learn some of that. But then you start fighting against some of the stormtroopers and then eventually going into some of the boss fights, and you realise that you do have to start thinking about how you use your abilities and especially how you use your force. You've definitely got to be a little bit careful with how you use your force, because if you run out you could find yourself in a very tricky scenario. And I found that really satisfying. It meant that you were still learning as the game was progressing. Even when you started getting towards the end game, you're still having to make sure you knew what you were doing, making sure you're managing your force properly. And then the skill tree and the skill point system allowed you to then make Cal more powerful in the areas you want him to be. Now, if you keep playing the game, you can have all the abilities. You can be a super duper Jedi. But in the meantime, you can make him more powerful in the areas you want to. And that is quite fun. You've always got new abilities to learn, and there's something uniquely satisfying about that. Also, one of the things this game absolutely does nail is it just nails Star Wars. It does that perfectly. The sound design, the writing, the music, and the adventure itself are just top notch. They're really enjoyable, and they really do feel part of the universe. Even down to some of the really silly dialogue from some of the stormtroopers.
Why did I do that?
But then, when the game really needs to, it really does grab at your heartstrings. It does give some really touching and interesting character development, and it does make the story really engaging also. As well as the adventure, this game just takes you on a journey, and it is really fun to play through. Now, most of the gameplay is going to be spent exploring and platforming and solving puzzles. This can lead to a slightly slower pace of gameplay, but it allows the game to explain some of the lore and allows you to really engage with the world you're in. It definitely is very reminiscent of Uncharted, and I personally really enjoy those games. It is satisfying and it is fun to play through. It's definitely something that you can spend quite a lot of time in, just trying to find new areas that you haven't been able to get to before. And then as you get further through the game and unlock new abilities, even more areas start to unlock. So you've definitely got a reason to keep going back to other planets and just trying to explore and see how much further you can find and what else is there in this world. And I did enjoy that aspect. I definitely found by the end of the game I really wanted to find out what the conclusion was, so I did skip some of the exploration. But equally well, it is enjoyable and it is a fun aspect of the game. And then to top it all off, you've got the boss fights. Now, I already knew this from Titanfall 2, but Respawn can make a boss fight. Some of these took me hours to work out how to beat, because even once you've learned all of their attacks, you've then got to make sure you execute it properly. I do admit there were some times there where the movement did feel and combat felt a little clunky, and I felt that I wasn't necessarily performing the actions I wanted Cal to perform. So there was a small issue there, but overall I still really enjoyed learning the bosses, understanding their attacks, when I needed to attack, when I needed to defend or run away, and it was a really satisfying experience, even though it took me many hours to beat some of them. But overall, this game was really enjoyable. Really enjoyed the story, loved the worlds and the atmosphere, the combat was satisfying, and just generally it was a top-notch game. If you're looking for something to try that will give you entertainment for 10, 20, 30 hours, this game is absolutely worth your time. I really enjoyed it. Even if you're not interested in Star Wars, I would recommend this game. Now, if you have any further questions, please do feel free to leave those in the comment section down below. I'm more than happy to ask them. I hope you're well, and I hope you will continue to stay safe at home. But anyway, I've been the guy with the gamertag, and I'll see you on another video.